Okay, so thank you for joining this session. So we like to do it at EclipseCon France. So we have this keynote talk at the beginning of the afternoon, and after we split in sessions, and we join again before going outside for the reception. We usually join again for Ignite talks. So what is an Ignite talk? The definition is 20 slides, 15 seconds per slide, and so it lasts for 5 minutes, and the slides run automatically. So we have 6 Ignites plus a special today, and so, well, Mickael will be the first one, then we have Clement, Atif, Jens, Kevin, Emily. And so that's an experience, I think, for as a speaker. Actually, I've never done that, so I don't know. But I really appreciate the challenge of each speaker accept every year to do it. And so yeah, just again, we have the reception tonight at La Tantina de Burgos, which is a nice tapas bar, so that's a private party. For those of you who already went there, so we have the weather looks good, and we will have all the terrace, and not too bad. It's not raining, so we can enjoy the terrace. And so thanks again to IBM for sponsoring this reception. When you go out of the room, you will have this small postcard with the address and everything you need to go there. So I think I'm done for the moment, and the first guy to try it is Mickael, and so I give you the mic, and I just press Control L. Not Control, Apple L.
Do whatever you want, whatever works.
And go!
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Mickael, and I'm here to tell you about IDE as a front-end and fast time to market language support in Eclipse IDE with language server protocol, TextMate and CLI. And that's already been 15 seconds, I guess. Okay. Some reminders before we get started. What is the language server protocol? You probably already heard of it. It's a protocol between a client, which will be the IDE, and a server containing the language logic. Both communicate over messages which are standardized with request, response, notification to get over n language value. It turns the matricial n times n integration into a star n plus m integration, which, given the amount of languages and tools supported, divides by 10 the amount of integration to take care of. This is a very interesting protocol obviously became successful in Eclipse community. So 11 Eclipse.org projects are related to language server protocol, providing either an SDK or an integration or a discovery or an IDE. But unfortunately, a language server protocol is not enough because it doesn't cover the syntax highlighting, and you need extra stuff for that, and that's what TextMate files are for. TextMate files are grammars to configure syntax highlighting for a given file. There are 240 repositories for TextMate files, for each one containing one or more grammar for diverse files, and at least 4 IDEs supporting those TextMate files. So it also became successful at Eclipse with the Eclipse TM4E project mainly, which provide an integration in the Eclipse IDE and also a plain Java integration if you want to include this support for TextMate in NetBeans or IntelliJ, to name them. Another interesting file will be the language configuration.json, which is provided by VS Code, and they configure matching brackets, comments, and all other stuff you may like in your IDE. And TM4E also adds support for those files in the Eclipse IDE. Finally, we'll use the generic editor that was introduced in Oxygen release, which allows you to extend an Eclipse editor very easily with plain JFS code. And TM4E and LSP4E do extend this editor. Those layers allowed us to implement 2 new integrations for Eclipse Photon with very low manpower, which is about 2 weeks from Lucas Boulen and I. 2 weeks. The first one will be the C# edition in Eclipse IDE with Eclipse Acute. Acute embeds the OmniSharp language server in Eclipse IDE to provide the content assist and so on. And it also uses the .NET command line to integrate new wizard, debug, new wizard export, run, and so on. For Rust, it's the same architecture. We use the Rust language server and a TextMate grammar to get the edition, and Cargo to provision and deploy projects and so on. We also have support for debug with CDT integration because it relies on JDB and a dedicated package. This is a very low-code architecture because everything is done by TM4E and LSP4E, so you as a provider, you would have to configure only 3 files, and this integration starts from 35 lines of code. This is the language server protocol integration. You can start with 5 lines of Java to start the server, so you just give the command to start the server, and 11 lines of XML to define the server and bind it to the file you need. So here it will be binding to C#. The TextMate integration is about declaring the TextMate file and binding it to the file you need, 17 lines of XML, and the language configuration can be bound to a given file type with 6 lines of XML. The LS, the language server, can be provided in many ways. It can be considered as a prerequisite on the workstation or shipped with the plugin or like Qt does. What happened? There is a bug. Oh, cool, extra time. It can be shipped as a plugin. I can go slow. It can be shipped as a plugin inside your plugin like Qt does. Or you can have inside your tool, like Corrosion, a dedicated wizard to provision your language server and automatically install it on your workstation. You see this nice screenshot? No. Reviens en arrière, s'il te plaît. Okay, next. Thanks. So what are the benefits of this approach against the traditional re-implement language logic? You get easier to implement feature, more consistent, more reusability with better factorization and a faster time to market for same feature richness. So what now for you? You have to adopt this. It applies to so many languages and it applies to so many tools that this is a technology you need to rely on because it is extremely successful and reduce the cost of doing an integration. What's next? Editing code is just one activity of our job as developers. There is also the need to test, to debug, to provision new projects, to build. And we are working, we at large, the DevTools community is working on new protocols for that. So what to remember if you found that too long? Adopt existing technologies like language server protocol and TextMate, create standard artifacts like language servers and TextMate grammars, create clients for those technologies, and integrate them together in your favorite IDEs with very few lines of code. Thanks.
So I guess that I have to do something. Wow, where is it? Okay.
You can unplug it. We'll just make it stop.
No, that's yes. Okay. Should be good. C'est quoi le deuxième? Reactive Landscape. Ouais. That's it? Okay. So the next speaker is Clement Escoffier from Red Hat.
Hello. My name is Clement Escoffier. Fasten your seatbelt because in 5 minutes I will tell you what being reactive means. Because in the last few years, almost everything and his dog became suddenly reactive. It started with reactive manifestos that has defined reactive systems. Then we had reactive Spring, reactive programming, reactive extension, reactive streams, and all those reactive has been associated with different concepts such as message, resilience, scalability, data flow, spreadsheets, events, actors, and so on. So that's a lot of reactive. But if you look at the Oxford Dictionary to know what reactive means, reactive is defined as showing a response to a stimulus. So if we apply this definition to software, we can simply say that a reactive software is a software showing responses to stimuli such as user inputs, events, users, and so on. And you can say, well, since the early age of software, we are building reactive system as it's the goal of software to obey to the user and to operating system. And you're right. However, in the last few years, we had three main clusters that have emerged around this reactive buzzword. First, reactive systems, which is an architectural style to build distributed system right. Then we had reactive programming, which is an API for asynchronous development. And then we have reactive streams, which help you making your system work, because when you are using reactive programming, back pressure has to be managed. We are going to see that. But let's start with reactive system. Reactive system infuse asynchrony at the core of your system by using asynchronous message passing between all your components. Because you have this, you can be elastic and you can be resilient. And this gives you responsiveness. So basically with this, you are building a system that will stay responsive in face of failures and under fluctuating loads. So basically, this is what you want to build. However, to do that, to react to users, failures, load, and so on, you need to react, and you need to react asynchronously. And one thing you need to understand is that asynchronous doesn't mean offloading work to a thread pool. This is what we are doing for years, and this doesn't work. This limits your scalability. Asynchronous means never block. Because if you use threads, then you are going to spend lots of time waiting and waiting and waiting. And to handle concurrent requests, you need to have many, many threads. This is going to consume memory, CPU cycles because of the context switch. It's not going to work. The asynchronous execution model is going to divide your task into chunks and always make progress because it relies on non-blocking I/O. However, for this, you need task-based concurrency and an asynchronous programming model. This is what Eclipse Vertex is about. Let's focus a little bit about asynchronous programming models. It all starts with callbacks. Don't use callbacks. Then we have features and promises. We have reactive programming, and we have more advanced techniques such as coroutine and fibers. We are going to focus on reactive programming because it's a talk about reactive. Reactive programming uses the concept of data streams to orchestrate all your logic. So you are going to create new data streams. You are going to combine and transform data streams, and then you are going to observe them. So during this observation, you can have three things. You can have data, you can have failures, and you can have completion for bounded streams. So this is a very low API, and you don't really want to develop all your software with using such kind of API. Fortunately, there is many libraries providing lots of operators such as Aka Streams, Eric Java 2, and Pivotal Reactor that combine the best ideas from the observer pattern, iterator pattern, and functional programming. Don't be afraid by functional. But that gave you a lot of operator, and you can be really, really efficient with that. A small issue with data streams. If you have a slow consumer and a fast producer, what will happen? It will die because it's going to buffer all the events that it can't keep up, and then you have no memory anymore. Fortunately, we have reactive streams that define a non-blocking and asynchronous back pressure protocol that let the slow consumer tell to the fast producer when it is ready to handle load. So this way, you are going to auto-pace your system very, very nicely. So let's summarize. Being reactive means being asynchronous. What you want to build is a reactive system, a system that stay responsive in front of fluctuating load and failures. For this, you can use reactive streams for back pressure and reactive programming as a way to develop such kind of asynchronous system. However, superpowers doesn't come from free. It's completely shifting how you develop software from A is changed B to B is changed by A. It's very hard at the beginning, but as soon as you reach the first level, you become a superhero. That's all I have. If you are interested to go a little bit deeper on this topic, I have two talks tomorrow, one about building reactive system on top of Kubernetes, and the other one about reactive event sourcing and security. Thank you.
So, thanks, Clement. Okay, so the next talk is by Mohamed Atif Javed, and yeah, let's go.
Good afternoon. Okay, my name is Atif, and I am a postdoctoral researcher at Mälardalen University, Sweden, and I'm going to talk about the migration of Eclipse Process Framework Composer. So what is EPF Composer? For those who are not aware, it is specifically developed for process engineers and project managers to provide support for authoring, tailoring, and deploying software system development processes. In the EPF Composer approach, we have the method contents like tasks, roles, work products, based on which the processes are assembled, and then they are configured. The method library contents and the processes based for the specific project needs, and then published for the enactment as process plan or project documentation. So EPF Composer is based on the unified method architecture meta model, which supports major parts of the OMG SPEM 2.0. EPF Composer actually is not evolved from long time, 11 years, and although it has attracted considerable attention from industries and academics from the people worldwide, it is still based on the older versions of technologies, and it was reducing the interests in the community. So in the context of the MAS project, the migration of EPF Composer is required to build an ecosystem, and we are integrating besides the others in the MAS platform. For example, in the context of the MAS platform, we are we need the EPF Composer to support the tasks like management of families or lines, reuse assistant, and discovery and compliance management. In order to perform the migration, the decision is taken in the context of the MAS project, and we have established a collaborative relationship with the IBM team. Yes, and the migration is planned in 4 phases. At the first phase, we decided to resolve the source code problems. Then at the next phase, we decided to resolve the problems with the content storage, then the configuration, combo box problems, rich text editor problems, and finally to export the standalone application. At the very first step, the required softwares needed to be installed for the release, for which we have used the software site repository. And then the problems for the source code have been resolved. For the complete list of changes and deprecations which we have resolved, there is a Bugzilla post. At the next slide, yes, to be visited. EPF Composer stores the method library contents in their own folders and files. For the new Eclipse release, we are also getting the problems for storage of method library contents due to the due to the conflicting scheduling rules, which we have resolved. And the problems were also resolved for the combo box of Eclipse Process Framework Composer, which supports users in selecting the specific subset of the method library. And the problems are also resolved for the rich text editor of EPF Composer. And in the next step, the last step, the incompatible bundles are removed, replacing bundles are added, and other deprecations are resolved to export the standalone application. Yes, this contribution is acknowledged by the IBM. EPF Composer is launched as a standalone application, but also in the Eclipse IDE. We would like to mention that the EPF Composer has been integrated in the AMAS open tool platform. The acknowledgement is given at the EPF website. Also, the committer status is assigned for the project. Since EPF Composer is evolved to the new technology versions, the further enhancements can be done based on the user and technology needs. For example, the complete support for SPAM 2.0 and the integration for studio model repository can be considered. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Atif. Maybe just one comment, because what I like in this project is that that's a research project. The Eclipse Foundation is also a partner of the research project, so you can meet them at the Eclipse Research Corner. But also a good example of one of the great advantages of Eclipse as a foundation, that EPF was not very active for a long time, and then new people come, and we managed to establish this relationship on 3 continents, and that works, and we are onboarding new committers, so that's really cool. So now, Jens, it's your turn.
Thank you very much. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's go.
So I will be talking about the S in IoT. So we're talking about security for Eclipse projects. So when it comes to Eclipse projects, it may be at some time that people come along and they report a security issue with their project or a vulnerability that takes a while to pronounce. So someone reports something which is, oh my God, this is like completely insane, this is completely broken, so what do? So you put something in a changelog more qualified, which says, okay, there's something wrong, yeah, we admitted that, and then it takes a while, and then you actually release at some point later on. So there is a time delay between the report, the actual fixing, or the qualified done, and so it will take a while, and there's a delay. So one way to handle this is pretty simple. You just write in bug fixes and performance improvements. Be wake. No worries, no one will notice, so you have a look at the changelog and you don't have any specific information in there. I don't think that's the right way to do because there are few answers, or there are answers missing to those questions, like which components are affected, does it affect me, so what actually was wrong. If you just put in something vague, you have no idea how serious that is. The idea is to have a CVE and a CVE ID, which exactly identifies that problem. So you have a CVE ID, and here's an example of a CVE ID, for example, for Eclipse Mosquito. So Eclipse Mosquito had some issue. There was some report coming in like, oh, this is like completely insecure. And there's a CVE ID assigned. And you can write in the changelog simply like, we have a fix for CVE number this and that. And later on, you can also qualify like, okay, this CVE has been fixed in those and these mosquito versions were affected. So this is now solved. Still, no one at that point knows what actually was wrong. Later on, you do a disclosure what this actually was, and different other groups will pick that up. So, for example, you have, if you Google for that CVE ID, you will get, for example, Debian Security Tracker, which refers to that CVE ID. So you do know that, okay, this is in Debian, this is fixed in Debian, shipped. Also, we have the different other, the NVD, which is a database tracking those CVE IDs from a different perspective. So the Eclipse Foundation has become a CNA, and a CNA is a CVE numbering authority. That is what already happened. So the Eclipse Foundation can assign those CVE IDs to projects. What you need for that is like a small description about what was wrong, and you need a score, and the score is the CVSS, which like there's a few factors which you can type into some web UI, and it spits out the severity of that issue, so everyone knows, okay, how serious is that? So even without disclosing anything about the actual problem. But you do know, okay, if it's a CVSS of 9 point whatever, you should take it seriously. So there's security at Eclipse. This has always been there. So there was always a way how to report that. There's a web page which you should probably have a look at, which explains what you do, and you should link to that from a project perspective to point people towards, okay, you have an issue, please report it in that way. Actually for the IoT projects, we do make that mandatory because we think that there should be an S in IoT. So CVEs at Eclipse, how do we process that? You have to send an email to security@eclipse.org, mention that you would like to have that assigned. We can assign that using Bugzilla. So we need a process to ensure that a CVE ID is not assigned in a duplicate way. So we use Bugzilla, the alias of that, and if you're using GitHub issues, you still have to create an issue in Bugzilla. So we can do that for you, but you can do that yourself. And we have the product community, and the component vulnerability reports. So what you can do later on is to have I think there's some flag in Bugzilla which makes it not accessible to the outside world. But later on it will be disclosed and available to the public. So beyond that, there's right now no formal process about how to do that. So this is just explained how we do it up until now. If you have any ideas, come along and talk to us. And there's also a bug which you can track, which is like Wayne Beaton doing some improvement on the documentation around that, so that we can point people towards that, how that could work, and how you can implement that for your Eclipse projects. And I have some time left. Awesome.
Thank you. So next one is Kevin.
Okay. Ready?
I think so. Okay, so if any of you know what speed dating is, I need audience participation. You guys are going to be interviewing me for a speed date, okay? So when this comes up, there's going to be a statement at the top, and if it says audience in bright red like this, then you would respond, or you would yell out, okay? So that's going to help me keep on track as well. So I need the audience participation to do this. So hopefully, by the end of this little speed dating, then, come on, guys. Okay, thank you. So my name is Jakarta EE, and I am the new future location of cloud native Java. We will be developing microservices in the cloud, for the cloud, promote innovation, have releases much more common and often than Java EE, and we want to get the community involved, okay? Okay, best attributes. Okay, so definitely want to be innovative. We want to have releases come out more often. We want to get ideas from the community. We want to participate with you. We want to be more agile and flexible. Okay, so we want to be able to interact more with the community and make sure that you guys that we're doing what you want to, but we still need to be compatible with previous versions. Thank you. Okay, previous relationships. Yes, I've been involved with one for a long time, about 20 years, but we've decided to move on, and now I'm hooked up with the Eclipse Foundation, but I still like to keep friends with old relationships, so you can see that Oracle is still up there. Okay, so there's still a friend. Okay, so I have 39 kids. Okay, and we just found out last week that we're gonna have another one. So. So there's a 40th one coming. If you want to see how all my kids are doing, we've got a URL, and you can keep tabs on all of the different projects that are being developed under Eclipse for Jakarta EE and for EE4J. They're all at different stages. Okay, so yes, we do. You might have heard of them. I've talked about them a few times. MicroProfile, we consider a sibling. But right now he's kind of like outside of the family. And so a little bit of a trailblazer, little rogue type project, but we expect him to come into the Jakarta EE fold once we settle down a little bit more. Okay, so I've got a few of them. The main one, if you just want to get started with Jakarta, go to jakarta.ee, okay? Very simple to remember. You go out there, that's a good starting point. From there, you can get to our working group definition, so you can learn more about Jakarta EE. But the other one that you might be most interested in is the top level project, and that's called EE4J. And if you go out to that website, EE4J, then you'll get a full list. Okay, so of course, we're happy with Java, okay? We're going to stick with Java. But we also know that there are some other languages that are getting popular. Kotlin, as you know, if you want to call it a JVM derivative, that's one that we're keeping tabs on, possibly for MicroProfile, possibly for Jakarta. And then we want to keep tabs with the cloud, with Kubernetes, Docker, and Istio. Yeah, so since this is speed dating, you know, there's a few other things that I'll share with you. One of them is, you know, where do I like to vacation? Of course, Jakarta, right? Favorite colors, blue and shades of orange are nice. Favorite drink, you know, I used to like coffee a lot, and you know, it's still okay. And if I ever win the lottery, of course, I'm going to donate it all to the Eclipse Foundation. Okay, so I think we're still not quite there for sharing phone numbers, but what I would like to do is point you at our various mailing lists and forums. We've got one, the most active one is Jakarta EE community. We've got thousands of responses out there already. So that's the main one to go to. You could hit the work group. The PMC has a mailing list. And then all of the individual projects under EE4J has a mailing list to keep tabs with all of the projects. And I think that's it.
Thank you, Kevin. Et je dois prendre l'autre micro ou celui-là, c'est bon? Je change de micro? Wait a second. I think that we may have a battery issue, so okay. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm Emily Jiang. I work for IBM based Hearst in the UK. Oh. Okay. I'm Emily Jiang. I work for IBM, and today I'm going to talk about MicroProfile meets Istio. So MicroProfile is a programming model for applications. Istio is the infrastructure. And today I'm going to talk about the MicroProfile first. So MicroProfile has these specifications: config, fault tolerance, health, metrics, security, open tracing, open API, and a REST client. So in the next few slides, I'll go through and look at how it works. So what is a service mesh? Istio is a kind of service mesh. It's kind of look at the server-to-server communications. Make sure the communication is fast and safe and reliable. And what does the service mesh do? Actually, it's kind of provide a quality service, like make sure that the service communication resilience and secure, and also there's kind of policy enforcement. Istio is a good example of the service mesh. It is designed to connect, manage, and secure your microservices. And this year, there will be a Istio 1.0 release. This is a big, busy picture about the Istio architecture. Basically, in your microservice, you have a port, and also Istio will inject a proxy and hijack all the traffic to ensure the quality service. So MicroProfile provide these following 8 specs, and Istio provide these 4 specs, like fault tolerance, metrics, and open tracing, and fault injection. There's some overlap. So we set up a work group in MicroProfile. So we look at how to best engage these 2 things and make sure they work together. If you are interested, join in this MicroProfile service mesh work group. This is like Istio and MicroProfile. You can see MicroProfile is in the application. Istio is like a spider web. So we need to make sure Istio understand the MicroProfile work for Istio. So in the MicroProfile config, you can see this MicroProfile config. You can inject the configuration. The configuration directly can be injected from Kubernetes config map. So that's the Istio we'll use. So this is a health check. Istio also rely on the /health endpoint to determine whether the port is healthy or not. So this MicroProfile health check will identify whether this health or not, healthy or not. This is a matrix. So MicroProfile can provide additional application-related metrics. So Istio can display. You can use Prometheus to view it. This is MicroProfile Open API. So basically, application need to advertise itself. What do I do? What kind of endpoint I'm providing? And there's no conflict between MicroProfile and Istio. And the next one is the MicroProfile JWT. This is a very nice spec. So MicroProfile makes sure the JWT will propagate the tokens and make sure the downward transport is secure. And this final one is the open tracing. Istio can make sure can see the trace spans. However, it needs application to add these 7 headers. MicroProfile automatically adds that for you. So the next one is the fault tolerance. So Istio can do that 3. MicroProfile can do this 5. But Istio will need to rely on the MicroProfile fallback to do the fallback because Istio cannot do. The other big difference is the MicroProfile can handle all sorts of fault tolerance, and Istio can only handle HTTP requests only. And also, it can only do retry timeout and circuit breaker. So we look at the conflict scenario, which is just HTTP related request among the multiple microservices. So as we see, how can we cope with the conflict? So the current state is we can disable MicroProfile fault tolerance, just leave the fallback. So Istio can use Istio's fault tolerance, however, can rely on the fallback from MicroProfile. This is the future. This is current future. We need your help. Join the community. So basically, we want to go through MicroProfile fault tolerance, and then can automatically generate Istio config rules. And automatically, with this, DevOps can automatically change the parameters. And if Istio cannot handle the fault tolerance, automatically let your application to handle, like HTTPS, for example. I think that's it.
Thanks, Emily. So, and thank you to our 6 superheroes of this afternoon. And now we are moving to something a bit different. So Melanie promised to stay in time, in a reasonable time slot. And while she's setting up, okay. So you need to go to this website. That's it. Okay, two things. So one thing is that this is the T-shirts for the speakers this year. So I think that I'm happy with what we designed. We have this nice hashtag community builder on the back. So please pick up, if you speak at the conference, don't forget to pick up your T-shirts. And we will offer the remaining T-shirts, the leftover T-shirts, tomorrow at the closing session. So don't forget to pick up your T-shirt before the closing session. And so now she wants to start something new that you should go to menti.com
and enter
on your smartphone. That's another live interactive stuff, and enter the code 244143.
Yes.
Let's go. Just micro.
Okay, so you can, as you want, you can connect at any moment. So hi,
I'm Melanie Batz from Hobio. And so as Gael just said, this is not exactly the same kind of Ignite talk than the one did before. But this would be a live survey. So I would not work, you would work right now. So I would need you to connect to menti.com and then enter the code 244143. And so the purpose of this survey is to get your feedback about what should be the future of modeling tools. And this is, I need your point of view. So please answer to the survey. Okay, so at Hobio, we've been working on modeling tools for quite a long time now. And we are used to work on the development of graphical tools. And one of our great success is Sirius. So for the ones that does not know anything about Sirius, Sirius is a framework to easily and quickly create a graphical modeling workbench dedicated to your specific domain. So when I talk about graphical tools, you know, this is the tools with some squares and some edges, and you try to make some relation between these different forms. So we are working on moving Sirius to the web. And so we are looking for feedback about how modeling tools should evolve in the future according to your needs. The first question, okay, you already answered the question. You think that modeling tools should evolve in the future to be integrated in web application, desktop application, TIA, mobile devices, and Eclipse IDE. So for the moment, you can still answer. Okay, continue. We are around, how many are we? 50, 60? Okay, go, 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 go. Increase. 60 or more. Okay, great, great. Are you sure that you can vote only once? Okay. So 86. Okay, we're waiting for the last one. 89. Okay, 89. 90, 91, okay. Never stop. So, the first reason is that you need web application, then Eclipse IDE, and coming just after Che and Thea. Okay. 93, that's all? Okay. Next question. What do you expect from modeling in the future? Free. This is an open question, so please share what you are looking for modeling. I'm still talking about modeling in the future, nothing else. So please, there is some moderation, but I don't know exactly if it works, so please. Modeling, MBSE, easiness. Okay, that's moving too fast for me. Simple, modeling simple. Modeling with one hull, modeling with two hull. Okay. I'm waiting for more answer. Domain, make a better world. Oh, I would like to. Execution multinational. Okay, money. I would like that to earn money thanks to modeling also. Okay. 93. The last one, please. Oh, 98. 100. Whoa. That's marvelous. One more and more after each question. 110. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Maybe. So, next question. The next one is, what kind of features do you expect from the modeling tools? Read-only diagrams, editable diagrams, tables, trees, charts, dashboards, chatbot, auto layout, 3D. So on this question, you can give points to the following features, and more points you give, the most important feature for you, it will be represents. Editable diagrams, okay. Okay, the chatbots are, I'm pretty sure that you, okay, that's weird. I think that 3D was most important for you than chatbot, but okay. Okay. It's still moving. Can you vote multiple times on this one also, or no? I don't think. Yes. You need to scroll. 85. Okay. 86. 87. Is it still moving? Okay. I'm just waiting for the last one. 91. 92. That's all. 3D change. Oh, better than chatbot. Okay, so, but it's the last one. That's okay. Okay, so next question, which is the last one. And this is a quiz. So the fastest to answer to this question will win a small gift. So are you ready? We are waiting for the last one again. Is that okay? Everyone is here? Start the question. So, what do you need to do tomorrow morning? Take a chocolatine for your breakfast. Attend my 9 a.m. talk, Modeling Goes Up to the Cloud. Wake up with an headache after the tapas party. There is only one good answer. So, okay. Who is the winner? So the winner is... So yes, you should attend my talk. So the winner is... I think that it's Simon. Who is Simon? Where are you? Okay, so Simon, you have the privilege to get some glasses, sunglasses. Yes, that's your gift. Thanks. You can. There is more for the one who wants. There is some sunglasses also at the OBO booth. So do not hesitate. You can have yours. Okay, just to finish. Thanks to the application, you can ask me what you want about the future of modeling tools, and not only about the future of modeling tools, please. So do not hesitate to add your questions, and I have no time right now to answer them, but tomorrow morning I could answer to those questions, so do not hesitate to type your different questions right now on this application, and then include you. So, yeah, expect I will be in the future, hopefully. So please enter your question, and I will answer them tomorrow during my talk. Thanks for your participation, and see you tomorrow morning.
Thanks, Melanie. Actually, this platform is entertaining. Okay, so thank you, everybody. We will meet you. What time do we start? 7:30. So we meet you at 7:30 at La Tantina. So, well, you have just a bit of time to 7:30 tonight at La Tantina for the reception. See you there, and thanks. Bye.